Hello everyone, Fangs of Fire here. Welcome to another game for the Continental Cup. Today as you can see, I'll be playing as Dracula versus RToWin. RToWin is one of the most skilled players in the Fear Dracula community, and he won the 2025 League of Dracula. And it is my task today to try to beat him. Alright, so what have we got here? Reckless Vampire, Aristocratic Vampire, Desecrated Soil, Unnatural Fog, and Bats. Okay, so this definitely implies that I go for Rumored Aristocratic with Bats as my opener. We'll go with... I think I'll have it positioned at... I think I'll start at Paris, put the... Put the Aristocratic and Bats at Brussels, and then go to La Havre from there, so that if they do get there, okay, never mind, scratch that plan. As I was going to say, I can bat them into a fog to prevent Van Helsing from crossing over. But obviously he is going to yoink that fog. So in that case, I suppose So he now knows that I have a couple of vampires. I have a bats. So therefore that will make him on the one hand, it means that most people would start with a rumored vamp. But he knows that I typically do some sort of like trash trail opener, just throwing down stuff endlessly. Just not just not putting down vampires until later. But with him seeing my opening hand, he'll likely be more inclined to believe, be less inclined to believe that I'm doing that. Okay, I get another reckless. Okay. Heroic Leap and Heavenly Host. Interesting. Good to know of. Alright. Next, so do we stick with Brussels or do we instead go with Nantes? Nantes is Brussels, well, then again, there are several things to consider. Because Brussels and Cologne are checked when they check for Amsterdam start, but he may choose to check for Amsterdam start simply by doing psychic scan. I think I'll go with... Yeah, we'll stick with the plan there. Aristocratic Vampire. Local rumors, okay. scouts. Okay. Yeah, in regards to the Continental Cup, the Europeans have finally started to pull ahead. So, Nantes and Santander. Okay, good thing. I'm very glad that I did not go to Nantes. Just as I thought it was a higher priority search target. That gave me. So now I think I will, after I play down Hyde to place the bats, I can circle through Le Havre, through Nantes, and then start going down into Spain. Or, depending on exactly how they start moving, like perhaps cut across through Clermont-Ferrand to Marseille, go across to Italy, try to go east. We'll see. When it comes to Dracula play, you often just have to take it turn by turn. You just gotta see where the pieces are lined up. Now I could do it now for the Continental Cup. For any who don't already know this, the Dark Hall rule is on, so I could, and I think I will, Dark Hall to pick up a Dracula event. Custom search. I mean, it's not bad. It's not good either, but it's one that's so-so. Not bad, but not great either. It's like, okay, I don't mind. Though I wonder, since I got so many vampires, in fact, I now have every single fighter vamp there is. Should I try to go on a layer stratagem? Like, go loop-de-loopy-loo? I think I could try that. Yeah, and since Team Europe has been pulling ahead, it is currently my task to try to close the gap. The current score lies at, as of the time of recording this video, 12.5 points for the US and 17.5 for Europe. So we definitely need to start bouncing back. Okay, trade away the that particular heavenly host, showing a rifle. So she does. So that tells me that Mia does not yet have a horse. Which is definitely nice for me. This is definitely a difficult Okay, so now we will hide, put down a bats, and lay down the rumor token. So do I feed next? Just try to stay in this one place as long as possible, or do I try to start like a lair loop-de-loo? It's hard to say. Newspaper, okay. That answers the question as whether I feed or not. And also, I think what I do now is, now that he knows where the first encounter is, I think I now go to Strasbourg and lay down a bats there as well. Try to build as solid a barricade around this one place as I can. Or alternatively, I could just lay down a bats somewhere and then lay down a fighter vamp in the next spot, so as to, like, when I ambush with the bats and then bat them into a night fight with a vampire. Yeah, I think I likely just go along the western coast. I don't like it, but I think it just has to be done that way. What other alternatives might I have? I could lay down soil to try to heal back the damage I took from Dark Hall. I have every single fighter vamp in my hand except one. There's still one reckless vampire in the discard. I actually do have custom search to help me protect this vampire, because it does delay the hunter that I use it on. So I may be able to get this vampire through, maybe. If I do, it'll definitely be extremely tight, but I suppose, given that I have a bats under the hide card, I can move, so long as I don't wolf form right now, I can move, like, anywhere to lay down the other bats, and I can bat them onto the bats. And then use that bats to bat them onto a vamp or whatever, just moving them further away. I think that's the right thing to do. Go to Le Havre or Paris. I think I'll go to Le Havre and then Nantes. Just work my way down to the west coast. I suppose it is worth noting that custom search, since they can really only move, since they can only like move during the daytime, delaying them to cancel their night action isn't really worth much. So I shall definitely have to use it carefully. Well, adieu. So I suppose I go to Nantes, and from there wolf form? Question mark? Not sure. I mean, when it comes to this custom search, if they try to move on to here on the very last day, or second to last day, like once it's say here, oh, okay. Since he's not all the way there, yeah, he was checking to see if I went there so that they could just pile on top of me for a 3-on-1, which is precisely why I didn't do. Which is precisely why I didn't do that. Yeah, it'll take 200 at this point. I think it'll take 2 hunters to get it. I think it'll take 2 hunters to get this aristocratic vampire. And if they put their effort into that, and if RToWin puts the effort into that, and I prevent him from doing it, that'll be quite a big win. Because he'll have spent time and resources trying to get to it, and yet I will still get 7 influence if I do manage that. But even if he does get to it, it'll cost him time from 2 hunters to manage that at all. I think next we'll lay down I think I'll lay down a new vampire. Or no, we'll go soil and then possibly move to Paris to lay down a fighter vamp. The reason I lay down the soil first is because of the timeline. Is because of the timeline on when I get my next rumor token. If I made this the vampire would be down here by the time I got the next rumor token. And that would mean that I wouldn't be able to rumor it, obviously. Yeah, so he'll know that Gul'Daming will... He now knows that Gul'Daming cannot handle this vampire alone. He will... That if he wants to get that rumor token, which he definitely should try now that he's committed to getting the... Oh, this is interesting. I now reveal my Idrak event. It is custom search. You stay there for a bit, Seward. And Seward takes damage because custom search, for those of you who didn't see it, he either has to discard all his items or suffer damage. So this is... Okay, so with Seward... with Gul'Daming under the influence of bats and Seward delayed, the aristocratic vampire, so far as I'm concerned, has done its job. It has bought me time. Rufus Smith. Okay. That will be a nuisance. Oh, using to search. Interesting. I think now we will form. We take advantage of the fact that Gul'Daming's out of action for the moment. Yeah, I think I will form to Marseille. Yeah, I think I'll... While I was originally not going to do this, oh, whoops, I skipped it. Whoops, whatever. Slight misclick there, but now he knows that there's something at Le Havre. Yeah, that misclick may cost me a good deal. But fortunately, Gul'Daming cannot move this next turn. Seward will be wanting to stay at Brussels to search it. So honestly, I don't think I'm in that that much trouble yet. Not today. So if I will form down to... I think I actually moved to Clermont-Ferrand and then to Marseille, and then go to sea, head to the east. Yeah, we'll lay down another soil. Dark Hall, while it lets you draw 5 cards, in the long haul it actually makes you lose time with card cycling. Yeah, it's time to just start tossing down fighter vamp after fighter vamp. As I think. Yeah, I figured Van Helsing would move. Okay, so in the end, it's just fine. That my misclick doesn't cost me anything because he chose to search it anyway. Okay, yeah, I didn't discard any stakes before that. There. Toss this away because it's junk now. Do I try cutting? How greedy do I be? Because Goldaming is once again under the influence of bats. So I can just... Perhaps I ought to have put him into... Perhaps I ought to have put something more meaningful there. Too late now. I think... I think we go Marseille, then we go like Milan. Okay, let's... Do I put down New Vamp or Reckless Vamp? I think we will go with the Reckless Vamp. Spy? Okay. What did I put it on? Soil? Yeah. Brussels, Nantes. Seward will almost certainly be moving. So... It's kind of meh because I put an aristocratic there. Had I put the bodyguards there, I would have been able to deal some damage to Goldaming, and it would have been more meaningful. But at least now he can... Okay, so now I can go to... In that case, since he's not moving Seward, I think I can just keep going normally. I think I can stay on land for at least one more day. Yeah, that custom search actually helped quite a bit because it helped quite a bit because it made Seward have to wait a full extra day to deal with the vampire, and every bit of time that I can buy for myself helps. Could go Genoa and then Wolfform over Florence, because Florence is one of the CG nuke spots. And it is entirely possible that he could have CG as well as... Okay, so... 1, 2... He already used one char carriage, but... I think I'll actually go... Milan? Because if he does char carriage, he would go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he would likely jump over with Mina to Genoa. Think we go... Options, options, options. Options, options. A lot of things that I could do. Okay. All this buzzing you're hearing in the background is random stuff from Discord. Gonna mute that for a bit. Let's see. What do I do here? How about we go with... Let's go with a double vamp at Genoa. Have the main vamp be a reckless, and then have a new vamp under the hide card. We'll see. We'll wait for laying down rumor token until next turn. We'll see how he reacts to this. He will likely be expecting me to go Nantes, Bordeaux, Santander, Cadiz, Lisbon, basically just be going southwest, since I went to Le Havre. And then when he sees that the next one is indeed Nantes, because I expect that he will likely check that, I'm a bit puzzled as to why Seward didn't move last turn. It's possible that he simply doesn't have the... I mean, he did charter carriage up there, so therefore I think that the likely reason is that he doesn't have the horses, all the horses yet. Okay, so Godalming has a horse. So, okay, checking Geneva. Yeah, he's accustomed to the fact that I tend to be a little bit more tricky than others. Oh, okay. Slow horse. Okay, so he does have all the horses, but it's quite possible that he didn't previously. So Van Helsing, I suppose, will likely go to Nantes now that he... I mean, he now knows that I went to Nantes from Le Havre. That's a given now that he's... Since he knows that I came from Brussels, and now he's checked Paris, so that leaves only Nantes left. So in this case, I did do the obvious thing. Checking Bordeaux first. Okay, yeah. You know it's Nantes, so therefore you check just how far south did I go. Clever. Good move, good move. So Mia's got lucky, showing lucky find now. Interesting. And we know that there's heroic leap somewhere or another. Let's not forget that. There's still 3 stakes unaccounted for, which definitely does not bode well for me laying down a lot of vampires, but given the cards I have in hand, I don't have much other choice. Or at least the cards I had in hand. More like. Interesting, interesting. What to do, what to do. Okay, so he's flooding the deck, the ticket pool with yellow 2s. Or is he? No. Training with Guldoming. Okay. Do I wolf form over to Toulouse in an attempt to throw him off? Go because when he sees non-Clownfry in Marseille, Genoa. But he would likely check Toulouse on the way. I think that we'll hide. I think we'll hide and place down the double vamp. Place a rumor token there. I think that there's just a bit too many. Will he play an RV here? I don't know. There's quite a few possibilities as to what I could be doing. I could have gone Clownfriend, Toulouse down into Spain. I could have, well, gone the way I did. Or I could have gone Marseille, Zurich, Nuremberg. There's just a lot of places I could be. And that's the advantage of the center of the map. Surprising return. Okay. Gonna use that as a search, I imagine. Probably check Marseille or check Toulouse to rule out the idea of Spain. Checking Milan. I considered going there, but nope. Godalming supplying? Okay. Discarding the last dogs, okay. That's now 8 Drac events that accounted for. Samia now has charred carriage. She keeps second stake. That's a stake discard. I'm pretty sure that he wanted to not see Marseille because that's the place that gives the most possibilities as to where I could be now. Do I go to C now or not? The problem with going to C right now is that it kind of like broadcasts where I am. And because if I go to C, then that narrows down where I am now to like Venice, Barcelona, and Genoa. Then again, we're about to mature desecrated soil if he doesn't see to it. You know what? I think what we'll do is we'll wolf form down to Rome. Give him more possibilities as to where I could be. Make it a bit harder to trace my current location. We'll lay down... what do we lay down? We'll lay down a... saboteur, or... We'll go with the bodyguards. Because Wolfform will likely make him think like Venice Wolfforming over into the east, or like, or Toulouse, Barcelona, Wolfform, or it'll likely make him think not Spain, but okay, good, no RV. Okay. Yeah. Or, well, actually, we'll not ambush with the new vampire. The reason for that is it may make him just show a stake, confident that the other one is not a vampire, only to have to put up with a night fight, and as a result, at least possibly, just take more damage. Oh. What could have gotten away with the plotting, apparently. Okay. He tried to call that I would play Fangs first, which, honestly, I likely would have if I had had a Fangs. I suppose we just go with the survival, since this is the one that's rumored. Go with the strength. Okay. Okay, what we got? We got a Fangs? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll just do as much damage as we can. This is definitely less than fantastic. That being said, it's possible that he just played the knight to try to counteract a Fangs. The fact that I did claws and then strength may convince him that I simply didn't have the Fangs. So, it's possible he'll just escape. Okay, so I could have done strength to parry that, but dealing 4 damage... And now, since he killed it, he won't have any reason to search. that sucks. So as a result, that was just a mistake to not ambush. That being said, 4 damage could definitely be worse. So, is he gonna just let me, is he gonna just let me mature this? Because, for all he knows, that could be a hoax. And I could, shuffle all those Drac events back and get something, and get at least a custom search. Yeah, there's still 2 stakes unaccounted for, so I kind of have to ambush. Okay. We will open with... We'll open with Mez on the off chance that I can get it. Try to get a plotting so that we can potentially get 2 influence points. If I... Okay, nice. Rewarded for going with that. So will he do the same thing as Gul'Daming did and dodge next, or will he instead go for the escape? Since he revealed a knife, let's remember that he does not have a horse, so he could have like knife, rifle, and Heavenly Host. I think that we'll go for the Fangs. I don't want to... Okay, good. Okay, got a point. Good. Okay, definitely toss away the rats, toss away the saboteur, toss away... Do I want to try for a hoax? Probably not, nah. Okay, does Seward have a Heavenly Host? Yes, he does. Okay. Van Helsing does have the stake, so that's now 3 stakes accounted for. We'll go with the wolves there. Okay, there's the second fog. Nice. We'll just continue going down the boot. Okay, I suppose we lay down my last vampire now. Especially since nearly all the stakes are accounted for. There's only 1 left. Perhaps I ought to have gone to C, because... sense of emergency on Mina and Van Helsing would mean that would be a 3-on-1 with me at 12. I would not exactly like those odds. And he's thinking of doing something, but I could have gone to Zurich. I could have backtracked to Toulouse because he moved by rail, so he wouldn't know if I went to Toulouse. I could be at Barcelona right now. I wonder when Mina will move, because I can see that she has a horse, so she could have been moving. But... I know that she has charred carriage. I also know that somewhere or another there's a heroic leap. Speed telegraph, okay. So in that case, I assume that he's going to have Van Helsing go first and check out Toulouse, just to make sure that Goldam doesn't go horsing down to the boot only to find out that I didn't go there. Sense of emergency with Seward. Interesting. Gonna check Nuremberg, perhaps? Gonna check Zurich? Okay, yeah. And then he would have Van Helsing check Toulouse? Question mark? Because that's another thing I could have done. Mina supplying, hoping to draw scouts or something. Oh, speak of the devil. The fact that I didn't play Renewed Vigor means that unless Gul'daming has a sense of emergency, and the only way that there's going to be combat today is if Gul'daming has sense of emergency, and the only way that would be much of an issue is if he... Okay, so now I suppose he'll have Van Helsing check Clermont-Ferrand, because he won't want to let a hoax mature. Okay, so now we'll learn whether or not Van Helsing has a Heavenly Host. Okay, so yeah, he does know that I'm down here. The nice thing is that Gul'daming is slowly but steadily taking damage. Okay, so Van Helsing has the last stake. Good to know. Okay, we can toss all of those cards right back in. And And he does not have a Heavenly Host, so I get to heal. Excellent. Yeah. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum. Cards and healing. So that is a very good results from Clermont-Ferrand for me. Sure. Heal up 3 health. Back to full. So... So, we know that there's a charred carriage here, but it's on Mina. And we've seen a charred carriage get spent. Sense of emergency would only get 1, 2, 3, 4. It would take specifically a charred carriage from the sewer to... So I think that I'm fine to stay on land one more turn and go to Bari. And we'll play down a spy, because I think that realistically, there's only going to be... I suppose Mina with a sense of emergency could also get here, so long as there is renewed vigor, but it would appear that he just doesn't have it, either that or just doesn't want to play it, which I totally understand they wouldn't want to play it now. I get the impression that he's trying to heroic leap me with Gloaming. The thing is, if he does come on to me and heroic leap me, I can just stay here and feed, and that heals most of the heroic leap back up. And so now he's going to either show me his entire hand, including his events, and lose his tickets, or lose a weapon, and be less well equipped for this evening's fight. And obviously, if he has heroic leap, that won't matter, but... Sense of emergency, Lucy's revenge, and vampire lair. Good to know. So the second sense of emergency is with Gloaming. And he does have Lucy's revenge and vampire lair. He does have the last stake with Van Helsing, so I imagine he'll want to trade the vampire lair off Gloaming to Van Helsing at some point. And then he's got, of course, Horse Knife, Heavenly Host. Typical combat hand. So he is not the one holding heroic leap at this moment. If Van Helsing's holding heroic leap, he could trade it to Van Helsing, to Lord Gloaming, which honestly I see no real other reason why he would move on to me like this for a one-on-one. Because so long as there's no heroic leap, I'm actually quite happy with this. I don't mind one bit. Okay, so that will likely be... Yeah, that will likely be the heroic leap trade. Okay. Since he didn't move any closer... Oh, escape route. Not heroic leap, escape route. So... I could misdirect Naples and then go back there. Toss the Brussels lair. Place a spy there. So I can go to C, or I can do Dark Hollow and Feed to pick a fight with Gul'daming. The thing is, I don't especially feel the need to go to C. And what's more, Wolfform is on the trail, so... Humph. Not sure what to do here. I think what I'll do... I mean, since that new vampire isn't rumored, I don't especially think it's worth... I think I'll go back to Naples and lay down Sagani Mob. So, he can pick a fight with me if he wants, but at this point, since I have drawn through the entire encounter deck, he knows that I will have had the option to lay down a fog there. Or no, unless that is the second fog was the very bottom card of the encounter deck. So doing renewed vigor is definitely risky. But by doing this, if Gul'daming chooses to move on to me again, I can spring the mob and deal some damage. And this way we get some time for the Wolfform to come off the trail. Because now I slide, go to C, slide, move to at C again, then slide, this comes off, and then I Wolfform ashore from either Mediterranean or Ionian, and he'll need Money Trail to know which one. I think that this is the correct move. I don't like the fact that I had to misdirect a vampire to do that, but it is what it is. I could go to Nantes and Le Havre, since there are perfectly reasonable encounters in those lairs. Yeah, at this point, I'm just like I'm just out of space. So let's see. We'll keep Marseille as a lair. We'll keep. Which should I prefer? I think we'll clear the. I think we'll clear that because that's just a better encounter. Then we'll put a mob on Genoa. Make him search it. I mean, Rome still has bodyguards, which it'll be quite nice if that matures. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. It's not a super big deal. Okay, so chartered carriage. So he's having Van Helsing deal with Rome. Okay, the fact that he's committing another hunter down into the boot is very good news for me. We'll see what. I know that Van Helsing at least used to have a knife. I don't know whether he still does, but he at least used to. What did I put on Genoa? A mob? Yeah, one of his items is a stake, and the other is a knife. So Mia's now showing the vampire lair. So there's a lucky find, there's a heroic leap, there's a lot of different things. I know a good number of their events. But, so, now I gotta decide. Do I go east, or do I go west Mediterranean? Do I land at Cagliari and put a vampire there? Possibly land there, hide, put a fog there, make it harder to deal with. So if I go Ionian, what do I do then? Then I would Wolfhorn to Sophia. I suppose Van Helsing will also be assigned the task of dealing with Naples due to how he's been playing. Meanwhile, Godalming will be moving out. In the event he has Money Trail, which is better for me? Probably Mediterranean, because Spain gives me more options. More options after Spain. So I think I go Mediterranean. Also, Wolfhorn from Med is something that's a little hard to find the exact location. So, it would appear as if he does not have that he doesn't. It would appear as if he does not have a money trail, unless does he? I mean, okay, let's. Someone. Turns out that one of the hunters is holding a garlic, because there's only 2 of these garlics in the discard, and there are 3 of them in the game. So someone has a garlic. I'd assume that that's Van Helsing, since he just supplied. That would have been like the bottom. That would have been the bottom card of the item deck, I would assume. How come he has only 2? Wait, only 2 items? No, because she's showing 1, of course. Duh. Silly me. Silly me. Okay. Yeah, the way he's playing says that he does not have money trail. So therefore he's trying to find it. Discarded a newspaper. I'm not... And I suppose it depends on what else you got, but... Okay, so that's now all 3 newspapers accounted for, so he's not going to find out which CI went to that way. Does Van Helsing heal, or does he... Or does he... Or does he do tickets? I don't know. So where do I wolf form to? Do I do a fake wolf form? And do it at Barcelona? Oh, so he must have just found that. Okay, so now that he knows what C it is, there. Let's discard it. Well, we'll discard the Nantes layer. Just toss that, I suppose. So, yeah, we wolf. Do I discard some layers before I wolf form? Make it possible that I could have gone to one of my layers. What did I lay down on Marseille? Spy? Do I normal land at Marseille and lay down a reckless, basically say come at me, and then wolf form after that? think I will. How many Drac events are left? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 in the discard, so there's still there's still 16 Drac events in that pile. Yeah, because even if he has CG, he can only block so many places with it. Like... Looking. Let's make sure that something's not going wonky here. Okay. Yeah, he definitely has a lot to think about, since, like, what does he do now? I'm right there, but I'm sitting on 2 encounters, which I think since at least he never saw all of the vampires, so he will likely assume that this is a double vamp, either that or like a vampire plus a fog. So I think ideally what I want to happen is for me to be able to like go Clermont-Ferrand, Nantes, or Bordeaux, and then go to sea again, so that this time, and since since he will have spent my trail, I can go North Atlantic and then either South Atlantic, North Sea, English Channel, then wolf form, ideally wolf form, and then he'll have to, then best case scenario for him is that he either stumbles upon me by sheer chance, gets a good evil presence or local rumors, or has hypnosis. And then, because if he can't find where I am, we've already had all the newspaper reports. either played or discarded, and we've had at least 2 scouts, I think. Yeah, we've had 2 scouts. So he was thinking about doing something, but more likely not a renewed vigor, because I know that Gul'daming has the 2nd sense of emergency, so he could have gone on to me, but I have a Lair Genoa. It's quite possibly that stopped him from doing that. Oh, and what's more, I'm guessing he had to discard a white 1 to the spy with Gul'daming, and that makes horses iffy. So next turn we wolf form. So what will Seward do? Going to Milan. Okay, I think I understand what's going on here. He's going to play CG and block all 4 of these spaces. And then he's going to move Mina and or Van Helsing to here to block me from going to there. But even if he does that, I can still wolf form to Venice and lay down a fog. And then with CG used, so long as I guess correctly on the fog, I could also wolf form to Munich. It's possible that he simply won't bother playing CG. I mean, I know that among his events, he has Sense of Emergency, Vampire Lair, Lucky Find, Heroic Leap. Okay. Yep. As I foresaw. Blocking Zurich with the permanent token. I could also Dark Call. See if that's a Devilish Power or an Unearthly Swiftness or something like that. So, I could just feed and stay in place. I could wolf form across to Venice and lay down a fog there. I could move into my lair at Genoa and lay down a fog there. Marseille, I think, is just too good of a Wolfhorn location to go to Genoa. So I think it's between Wolfhorn to Venice and laying down fog, or just feeding. I would be without fog then. I think I will go with Wolfhorn to Venice. Or do I? Humph. I think we'll go with the move to Genoa choice. That way, even if he has forewarned for the fog, I have I do have a mob to at least whittle down their health a little. Okay, he's going for it. Which, honestly, I would have been quite surprised if he hadn't gone for it. Okay. So, Seward is in my opinion, the most likely one to have a forewarned. So, I will have him not. So I will not ambush him. Van Helsing is probably it's quite possible that he won't move Van Helsing in. Okay, I know that Goldaming does not have forewarned, or do I? I seriously doubt he does. So I think I'll go for it now, because I did see his full hand of events. There was one trade between them at one point, but between Van Helsing and Goldaming since then, but when I looked at his hand at Bari, he did not have one. So unless Van Helsing had one then and there, then Goldaming does not have a forewarned. Okay. Does he have the forewarned? Okay. That's bad. And we know that his last event is Lucy's Revenge. So this is probably a GG. I seriously doubted that he would have it, but well, at least Van Helsing will likely die. So, but unfortunately, IDS doesn't really matter in this format. Right, he gets to have everyone rest. Yeah, GG, well played. I know. Oh, Lucy is here. Here. So no way. Yeah, I'm just dead. just for the fun of it, we'll play Escape as Mist right off the bat. Just for the fun of it. I mean, I know I'm dead, so why not have some fun? Yeah. Let's game chat. Let's see if RToWin will agree to us have a bit of a chat. With this. Yep. Yeah, I know I'm dead, so might as well just mess around. Hey, RToWin. GG. Yeah, that was actually looking okay for me until at least through the mid game.
Yeah. And before I found you in Southern Italy, it looked okay. But like hunters were perhaps a bit slow to arrive at the conclusion that you were in Southern Italy. But yeah, even when you were in Mediterranean, it looked okay.
Yeah, I suppose I simply should have just wolf formed in. I think I underestimated how bad the CG would be, and I thought because I thought even if you block up 4, I still have plenty of options for wolf form, but you were just clogging up a lot of those options. I was so sure that Ekeldaming wouldn't have, because I saw all your events, and you would have and you had only traded with him one more time after that, after I saw your events. So I was quite confident that you actually did not have forewarned with Ekeldaming. But oh well.
Yeah, I arranged it so that he did have forewarned, so that I wasn't planning to use Speed Telegraph in the final turn, but I realised I'd be able to heal better if I did use Speed Telegraph. But I'd anyway arranged it so that my 2 forewarns, I had a guaranteed 3v1 by Lord Godalming and Seward having forewarned.
I expected that Seward would have it, but had I waited until then, since you would have traded it to Van Helsing and then had him sense emergency on, you did have a guarantee 3-on-1, and that I might have been able to survive. I see it was newspaper that you discovered my trail with. Right. No vamp matures.
Like a 3v1 with a weak Van Helsing. Might survive.
Yeah.
Even with Lucy.
The hide card at Marseille was actually another vampire, but I was not expecting the main one to die like that. my thought was that you would then stake it at night, thinking that it was something along the lines of a bats or a saboteur.
Yeah.
And then you would find yourself with a night fight that you weren't expecting. That was probably also a little silly, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean it looks fine if the main vamp doesn't die.
Yeah, if you hadn't killed it there, then it would have been. Yeah, my starting location, by the way, was at Paris.
I literally on my recording, I entirely guessed that. Like after I drew
newspaper to.
No, not the 4 newspapers. After I drew Behind the Veil, I was like, if I was Fangs, where would I start? I'll start in Paris and tend to go to Nantes. Put down the Aristo and the Hyde. Room of the Aristo.
Yeah, you saw my starting hand, so.
yeah. And then when I had typed out, I lost my confidence and decided to check Nantes in Santander, Nantes being what I was expecting him to go to Nantes, and it's a good place to check.
Yeah, but
obviously you've seen that I've seen your hand, so you decided to do something different, or you were always back to do something different.
I was always intending for the first thing to be at Brussels. My original plan was to go to Brussels, then to circle around to the west coast, so as to not go to Spain too soon. As go to Spain too soon and you had to go to sea too soon.
Yeah.
And that's why I went Brussels, Le Havre. I was never intending to go directly to Nantes.
Okay.
But in any event, to close out my live stream, thank you everyone for watching, and see you all another time. Thank you. Bye.